Well, our next guests here on Talk 100.3 are part of one of Dubai's most prestigious hotels. We are joined in studio by the general manager of the Waldorf Palm Jumeirah. He has over 30 years of experience in the hospitality industry, having managed some of the finest hotels across the Middle East, Asia, Europe, even Adelaide in Australia. And we also have Chef Stuart Sage joining us alongside General Manager David Wilson from the Waldorf Palm Jumeirah. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us here in the studio. Great to have your company.
Good. Thank you very much for inviting us. Yeah.
Great to have you in here. It's summer in Dubai. It's the hot season. Some say the off season, but to you, David, as the general manager, is this the busy season for you, where you're planning the next 2 quarters?
There's a lot going on. You know, it's definitely a planning time. It's a time that we're doing some work in our restaurants. We're rebuilding restaurants. We've got a lot going on, and surprisingly, actually quite busy this time of the year, even with the temperature as it is. We get a lot of European visitors coming over.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, it's 31 degrees there. It's pretty hot in Europe, right?
Well, it's hotter in Europe than here. Sometimes about 40 degrees can be in Europe. So much better to be here. When you talk to the guests and they say, well, here at least you've got air conditioning and chilled swimming pools. So, we're opting for Dubai. Thank you.
Stuart, as the head and food and beverage at the hotel, you've been here a long time, about 15 years. What is it? Where's the appeal of working in Dubai compared to working in other markets?
Well, it's all about the different market trend setting, looking for the next niche, studying what the competition's doing and what you could do better, and just always, like I tell my chefs, you always have to study, because every week, every day, there's something new coming out.
This is a very interesting point that you made over here, Stuart, that, you need to study what your competition's doing. Obviously, self-development is a part of any field, any industry. But how do you guys keep yourself relevant in this ever-evolving, so competitive Dubai market?
I would just say that, it's a really developing market. I think that the great thing is that it is so competitive and it is developing so much. So from a hospitality point of view, hotelier's point of view, that's exciting. Mm-hmm. I think the most exciting regions in the world for hotels now are probably Asia and Middle East. But Dubai is becoming a food center, a sort of foodie center of the world. So it's very significant now with Michelin Guide coming in, Gourmet. So the bar is constantly raising. And that's a challenge. We say competition's healthy, and it's great to see over the last, since I've been here 8 years, the development of this scene here. I
think the food scene in Dubai is extraordinary. The Michelin star was obviously huge. We saw some of the best restaurants come out here for Expo a couple of years ago. But I'm a bit of a foodie, Stuart, and I'm thinking about the quality of the produce. Is it a misnomer that you can't get good produce being here in Dubai?
One thing I'm very proud to say is, as a chef, over the years, the investment that's put into the region with the farms and everything else, a lot of the chefs, especially with our group and most probably other groups, the quality is just as good as now coming in international. It's getting better and better every year.
And is that produce from here in the restaurants? Yeah. So it's grown here?
Yeah, the farms from Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, there's many farms.
I mean, just like getting the right producer is important, David, I'm sure getting the right set of people to work within the organization is equally important. Is there a specific benchmark that you keep when you're hiring people, or is there something specific that you look when you're getting that little tick mark on, yes, I want to hire this guy?
Yeah, definitely there is. I think, it depends obviously on what type of position we're hiring, but for somebody entering into Waldorf Astoria, I think the most important thing is about the culture, and are they going to fit in with the culture? Because the rest you can train. Mm-hmm. If you've got people who have the right attitude and the right culture, the rest we can develop. And we're proud to say in our hotel we have 55 different nationalities.
Wow.
And having worked all over the world in different hotels, I can't tell you there's no other destination where I could think of you could have 55 different nationalities.
Is that a benefit? Some people may say that as a challenge, but do you see that as everyone is instantly more open-minded and needs to be more welcoming and understanding of differences?
I think it is. I think that when we talk about hospitality, you'll find wherever you work in the world, whether it's Japan or China or Singapore, there's a common denominator, and that's the human values that everybody has. And so, it gives diversity, it creates a good working environment. And I think in Dubai, it's one of the beauties of Dubai is that we have that diverse workforce.
When you look over summer, you mentioned how there's still some Europeans that travel here. This time of year, percentage of local travellers, the staycation versus internationals, roughly what would it be?
Not so much in the summer. Everyone's in England and overseas in Europe.
So I'm more looking at this point, and your advice, Stuart, at the restaurants and food and beverage at the hotel. When you do have, say, more locals compared to perhaps in December where there's more Europeans, do you have to change the menu? Do you have to change the array of produce?
Well, in one of our all-day dinings, we do theme nights, which has 7 different themes. So it caters for all the different nationalities we have in our hotel. If we have any locals from the region, we then do a personal touch to their palate if it's not enough for our offering. So whatever we do, we always try to give the next step and give to exceed their expectations.
Personalization is key, right? Be it with your hotel guests who come in to stay, spend some time at the spa, or for that matter, come in for a dine-in. But again, like David was talking about diversity. This place is a melting pot of cultures. Everyone comes in, not as much as probably in any other country in the world. How do you then cater to everyone's expectations?
I think this is really an important point, and one of our key success factors is getting those preferences and treating our guests as individuals. And there's a whole system and procedure behind doing that. But the most important thing when you come to Waldorf Astoria is that you could be recognized as an individual, and we can understand your preferences. So when you go down to it, you get the coffee that you want, you get the seat that you want, and that makes you feel at home. And we always say when somebody leaves, they'll remember how you felt, how our team made you feel, and that's what they're going to take away with them, and that's the memory. And we say we're in the business of creating memories and experiences. And preferences and personalization is a big tool, and how we manage that.
And growing up as a kid, I don't think you would have watched this film, Neil. One of the favourite films my sister and I always watched was Coming to America. Did you ever see that film with Eddie Murphy?
Eddie Murphy.
And in that, the king of Zamunda goes to New York, richest man alive. And where does he stay? At the Waldorf. In New York City. And even to this day, I go past the Waldorf and I think, that's where the king of Zamunda stayed.
And it's an amazing hotel. I had the chance to go around that hotel. It was just like a living museum. And Waldorf Astoria, they invented Eggs Benedict there. They invented the red velvet cake there. There's so much history in that hotel. It's iconic. It really is.
Do you see that as a bit of pressure when you've got this legacy, Stuart, that you've got to live up to this reputation of the Waldorf?
No, because we have red velvet in our way, keeping the tradition alive, and with the Eggs Benedict, we have that.
Waldorf Salad, obviously.
Yes,
of course, that's another one, Waldorf Salad.
Yeah.
But all great brands are rooted in history, aren't they? If you think about Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Waldorf Astoria, they all have a tremendous history behind them.
Yeah, and that legacy is there. But you're obviously evolving. What's new? What's new in the food and beverage space that we've got for the resort at present?
Well, we just on Saturday we're about to launch a new menu in social, new direction. So it caters for all the guests in our house and external guests. A new approach from innovation dishes all the way through to classic dishes from Nonna style. We've just launched a new menu in Lao, our Asian restaurant. So we have a dim sum cart as well, which is new addition. And then as with the October, we will then do a Rabata grill out on the terrace. Then under renovation at the moment, we have our Pullum Beach, which is launching in September. Brand new setup, direction, offering. So there's lots going on.
So there's a new beach that's got to be available to you if you want to get down there in September.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the key is as well this authenticity, and what Stuart's saying when we talk about our Italian restaurant social, we're going really into authentic Italian cuisine. We talk about Lao, it's authentic Asian cuisine.
So there's no cream in the carbonara?
No cream in the carbonara, for sure. Absolutely not. And this is important these days. All our guests are well travelled. They've been through Asia, they've been through, they know what they want, and we have to provide high quality, authentic cuisine.
The other day, Kitch and I were talking about this, that how fusion food comes into play, right? I mean, when you go to India, there is Indian Chinese, which is a different variant. It's a complete different variant. It has so many spices in it. Yeah, it's not the bland standard Chinese. Now, does that expectation also come into play? Does that thought come into mind that, hey, maybe let's try something which is not as authentic as the
Generally
Italian
not.
or Chinese?
Generally not. And maybe Stuart will have his opinion on this, but I think he knows my opinion is definitely not. I think we have to cook authentic food, because once you start doing that, there's no end to changing.
True.
And then it's something and nothing. So stick to authentic food, pure and simple, great ingredients, properly prepared. That's the secret for us.
That's the boss's view. Stuart, you get it.
Well, from a culinary point of view, David's kind of spot on, because it's a talking point with the guest.
Yeah.
Because then you have a connection. If you don't have a connection and you do a fusion, then you're giving your version, and then you're taking away a history and a memory, like you mentioned about the Waldorf and coming to America. When I'm talking to my guests and they're talking about the food and your
authenticity.
Yeah, of it. Or straight away your conversation is already started.
And then you've got that talking point. So, I think it's the legacy that the Waldorf's probably underestimated when you talk about food. What it's brought, and you do have that history there. You mentioned that with people coming and their expectations, personalisation, and you touched on this. You've got to leave people feeling like they've had an experience. But more to that is specifically, how do you do that? Is it the chocolate mints on the pillow and the turn down service? What are the little touches?
First of all, it's about being perceptive. You have to be able to read the guest. You've got to be, and there's a lot of training and systems, as I said, that go behind that. But the end result is that if a guest is staying with you, you have to be able to recognise, for example, what's the purpose? Are they there for an anniversary, for a birthday, a special celebration? How can we enhance that? If they have preferences, a lot of our guests come back year after year, and they like a particular room, and they like a particular setup. They like their aircon at 18 degrees. So when they get to that room, they should have the room that they want, 18 degrees, with the amenities they like, and they immediately feel at home, and they feel comfortable.
Well, Ahmed has just sent through a message. I'm enjoying the conversation. Can I please know what is the best way to get an upgrade?
Best way to get an upgrade is to pay for it.
There we go. But so one of the great things is obviously your spa. Neil and I were talking about. Neil loves the spa. I'm rather an afternoon by the pool to a certain degree. The spa, what have you got for offer for people?
We've got an amazing
spa.
We've got 2 VIP treatment rooms with full facilities, which is amazing, with themed showers, jacuzzi, bath, steam room. It's a place where you could go and spend 2.5 hours very nicely relaxing, and some great therapists. So the spa is one of our real key areas in the hotel that the guests love.
This is incredible. Just a while back we were talking about this, and how every individual, again, personalization, every time you get into a spa, there is a very distinct aroma. And that aroma is somewhere in your subconscious set that I go to this place, this is the aroma, this is the kind of music, this is the temperature, and this is where my body just, gets into this relaxation mode. Is that how it works at our spas too?
Definitely. I mean, setting the stage for that and setting the right ambience is important, because, today with everyone's schedule, everyone's under so much pressure with emails, with work, with the pressure of these things, that just to have that time out and to go into a different zone, different experience, enliven the senses and get into that relaxation mode. 2.5 hours will do you more good than, say, a day away somewhere. So it's just, everybody has to switch off at some time, disconnect.
Just in our thank you. Just in a final couple of moments, VJ's got a message for you, Stuart. I really enjoy hotel breakfast buffets. Do you make the in-house croissants and breads, or where do you get them from? You make them in-house?
Yes.
Oh, croissants are hard to make.
We have a strong bakery team. Our executive pastry chef has been at the Waldorf for 7 years. He's turning into a bit of a celebrity in his own right. But no, absolutely, the skill set of the pastry team. We also, every season we give new targets, but everything is made in-house.
But a good question, because the quality of the croissant is a good benchmark on the pastry. So I say, come and try our croissants. We're confident we can stand up. They're not frozen and baked. They're the real thing. Yeah,
you can tell if they are. Yeah. Nice and flaky and
absolutely
beautiful.
Buttery.
So we do have some spa vouchers and also a meal voucher if you want to get to the Waldorf Astoria. 0586861003. Gents, it's been great to get an insight in the hospitality sector. Just to you, David and Stuart, before we finish, your favourite part of the hotel?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm going to have to say maybe the restaurant, social restaurant.
That's the new one?
The new one coming up. Very excited about that.
Yourself, Stuart?
All the restaurants.
That's a great
I
one.
thought you might say the spa, and then I wonder where you're going in the afternoon.
To David Wilson, the General Manager, and the chef, the Head of Food and Beverage, Stuart Sage, from the Waldorf Palm Jumeirah. Thank you very much for joining us. TSB, Talk Sport Business on Talk.